You see, when I was a kid, I used to dress up as a cowboy. It was my favorite. Up in the mountains of Southern Oregon. And I remember I used to love to go fast. And we just had these big mountains, and I would just run down those mountains as fast as I could, and most of them were shale in between those Douglas fir. And I remember I would fall every time, and I loved it. And then I remember, as a young man in California, getting into roofing and finding that I really loved keeping families dry, crawling all over those roofs. I got really good at leak repair. In fact, I said this: give me the leak that no one else can solve and I'll fix it for free. In fact, one day I remember I repaired 10 families' leaks. I mean, that felt good. And then something happened along the way where we discovered that we found a family where a girl slept on a moldy mattress and we had to give a roof away for free. I say I had to because I couldn't let that family have a leaky roof just because they didn't have the money to pay. And it became part of who we were. And then something happened. We started donating all the Habitat roofs. Man, we were flying. Just like I was running down that hill in Oregon. I was flying all over roofs. We were keeping families safe and dry. We donated millions of dollars of Habitat roofs. We started donating the roofs for Ronald McDonald House. In fact, I joined the National Roofing Board after I joined that board, and we convinced them across the country we could donate all of the roofs for all of the Ronald McDonald houses. And you know what? That happens today. We were flying. Everything was going great. My knees are sore because there's something I didn't tell you. Back when all those times I'm crawling all over the roof, sometimes I was lazy and I didn't have a lot of safety protocol where I learned the business from, and I used to jump off of roofs. I'd jump off of roofs sometimes, and I remember sometimes my knees would sting and I would giggle like I couldn't see the future in that. And so I have sore knees. But even as I was flying around, I even got to coach my son in Little League Baseball. And all this is happening, and then just about a year and a half ago, something happened. A friend of mine, in fact, her name was Susan Kinney. She's the same person that got me involved with Ronald McDonald House to begin with. She said, Charles, and she's really into crystals and things. And sometimes, people have a different spirituality, and sometimes it's like, okay. And then she goes, Charles, and I said, I can't, I'm late for a meeting. I got to go to this board meeting. And she goes, I want to pull an animal oracle card for you. And I'm thinking like, ooh, okay, And so I'm like, okay, and so, didn't want it. And then she goes, I'm going to pull it. And I go, well, it'd be a hawk or a moose or something, because I'm on the mountain going fast. And she goes, no, let me pull it. And she was all serious. And so I knew I needed to let her do that. But I didn't know it was for me. And said, Susan, go ahead and pull a card. And so Susan has this kit. I didn't know she had this kit. And she has all these cards, and she pulls me a card. And I'm thinking, okay, what is it, a hawk? And no, it's turtle spirit. What's turtle spirit? Turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. And I think I need some help here from the voice of God. I said to Susan Kinney, what is turtle spirit? I mean, I was insulted. It might hurt my feelings a little bit. But this is what she said.
Turtle spirit. Slow and steady wins the race. Move slowly, perhaps so slowly that it almost feels as if you are not moving at all. There may be a time to crawl before walking.
Didn't know what to think about that. I just kept going on. We were going fast, and then something happened. I got a couple of phone calls. And this was within the last couple of years. The first was from my Aunt Kay. She's in her 80s. She lives in Mississippi, and she said, Charlie, and she wasn't in a good tone, and she never speaks to me this way. She goes, you got to do something about your parents. I said, what do you mean? My parents are fine. They're up in Oregon. Like, I get to go up and see them once in a while. I call them every month. And she goes, no, your dad's declining. He needs to come down, and you need to bring him here. And I'm like, oh, my knees are sore. I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do that, and this is on my mind. And then I get another call, and this call was really rough. It was from my COO, and she said, Charles, we've had 2 falls this week from the roof. I'm a roofing contractor. It's something that just can't happen. And so the first was Jonathan. He was an 18-year-old kid. Fell from 2 stories, and he was in one hospital. And the second was Carlos. And Carlos fell. He was older, experienced. In fact, Carlos is a hell of an employee. In his first year, the year before, he won one of our Lobo Awards. And he won it because he always looks after his crew. Not only did he protect his crews, but he was known for going up and giving them a hug. And sometimes people don't like that, but we knew him for that and we loved him for that. And so Carlos fell. And he's in another hospital and he's had a surgery. And all this is happening and my knees are hurting and I'm in a dark, dark place. I don't know what to do. And I think I could maybe kind of describe it in a song. I haven't put on that cowboy outfit a lot since I was a kid, so a little clumsy. Love, it's a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and those flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. It burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Thank you. Life was tough. Mom and Dad moving him down was really tough. I mean, my knee was really bad. I was trying to get knee replacement, but they wouldn't do it. I'm doing PRP, I'm doing stem cell, I'm on diets. And moving them down was tough. It was really hard. And I'm also watching my father's decline, which feels really personal. It's not something I've ever experienced before. I'm not able to play baseball, even catch with my son anymore. My knees are hurting so bad. But then we got another call. This time it was from Westminster Hospital. Carlos was awaiting a second surgery, and after 3 weeks in the hospital, he contracted sepsis and he died. Carlos died. I've never talked about this before. But I feel like I have to talk about it. I'm a roofing contractor. And it's a trade that, I'm telling you, you're either lucky or you're safe. And I want to be safe. And I knew this, I've heard that. You're just lucky or you're safe. That would be the question. Are you lucky or you're safe? And I didn't understand it, and we did everything we could, but we lost Carlos, and I can't tell you what that's like. I know I went to his novella every night for 9 nights, and I saw his 3 daughters. Corey Burnham went with me. It was tough, man. It was a tough period. Moving forward, as we're getting through this period, moving my parents down, learning, trying to bring safety in the company in a way that affects everybody, that we never have to worry, experience this again, we started to see some light. Kind of in the center of that burning ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and those flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Oh, it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Into that. Something happened, okay, I got knee replacement surgery 2 months ago. There was something, turtle mode went to way further than I thought possible. I mean, I got to tell you, I've never walked through pain. I was warned it would be this kind of pain, but I know that some people in this room, we've talked about it, have experienced this pain, but it was more than I could handle. And then I took pain pills. And I took pain pills for more than a couple weeks. I was on pain pills for 2 months, and it was really difficult. Those of you who have ever had to wean off of pain or ever had addiction, you know what that's like. And so life has been really hard, but something right now is happening. Right now, Jay asked me to do this talk, and I said I can't do it, but something happening right now. I'm starting to see this light, and it's right at the center of that burning ball of fire. And you know what it is? Whether I'm looking at my family, whether I'm looking at my team or I'm looking at you, Whether I'm looking through the view of that hawk going fast or I'm down in turtle mode, it's love. It's love. Amen. Thank you. And I got to tell you, when you look at our company, there's some beautiful things happening. First of all, my mom and dad, let me tell you about them. They live in this little cute, beautiful community with no new building in Laguna Hills. It's like this old community. It's so awesome. They have a one-story house, and I see them every week. In fact, every Thursday morning, as I did this morning, I go get an IV with them. Because it's good for them. Mom's bragging about her nails, her skin. And Dad is doing better. He has progressed Alzheimer's, but he's doing better. And it feels good. And I want to tell you about our safety program at Antis Roofing. You know, I'm not bragging about it. I don't know how to talk about this. I'm just doing the best we can, but something happened. There's a man over there. His name's Bobby Probilski. Did I say it right? I call him Babarazzi. He's our visual storyteller. He's the outside of our company. He's why you know Antis Roofing. But he spends half of his time now on the inside of our company. And he makes these awesome videos that all of the techs mention. He adds comedy to it. So all of the technicians watch it. So everybody's tied off. We have a safety that goes from top to bottom. And I applaud that. And I want you to know, I don't know how to talk about it, but I've been wearing this bracelet for the last year and a half in loving memory of Carlos Ferrer. I've been wearing this bracelet, and this is the fourth version because his names wore off 3 times. And I have a portrait of him in my house that I see, and I have a portrait of him in the Nook room at Antis Roofing campus. And we actually have an award honoring him. And there's one other thing that I see when I look out and I see love. I want you to know this week, for the first time in 2 years, it was a Tuesday night, I said, Charlie, you want to go play catch? And I got to see his smile as we played catch in front of the house. No matter where we're at, you know, showing up for family. I look around this room and I see these people, you know, this ragtag group of storytellers, leaders who are bearing their souls, telling their essential stories, and then you're changing things at work, at home, in the community, and in the entire industries that you're in. And it makes me proud. And if you believe me that love is at that center, wherever our view, I want you to sing this song with me. And when I ask what it is, you're going to shout love. But first you're just going to sing, I fell in, yen. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. That ring of fire, that ring of fire. What is it at the center of the ring of fire? Love! Yes, thank you.